Everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and welcome to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to look into the EMR setup. We'll do the EMR cluster setup. So in the previous video, we have looked into the EMR theories, EMR concepts, which is very necessary to build the data engineering platform. And in the next video, I'll come up with the Spark running application. We'll run the Spark application in the existing EMR cluster. So I'll tell you in the company or in the organization right now, what happens, we run Spark application in the EMR from some tool. Either we use Databricks or we use some other, for example, Lambda function or from a step by step function. We generally don't log in into the EMR directly and create a cluster as a developer, or we submit a job inside the EMR. But the whole purpose of this series is to make you understand what the EMR is, how the things are done internally in the EMR. So we should know the setup process of the EMR cluster. So we'll proceed now with the setup of the EMR cluster. I hope everyone is ready with the free AWS account. If you don't have the free tier of AWS account, please create your free tier AWS account. It's very easy to make up, and then you can execute or you can practice parallelly with this video. So as we'll go into the services, I have the recently visited services here. So I'll directly go into the EMR, but you can directly type the EMR here. We'll go to the EMR directly here. So you can, like I was creating few cluster few days back. So we'll go to the cluster and here you will create or click on the create cluster. So now, as in the theory, we have studied about in the EMR provides you the EMR version, and each version has a set of software, set of applications with the different version. So you can also create your custom EMR server. You can create specific to something, like I want to create a specific to Spark. So I'll click on Spark, and these are the different EMR version. So if you change the EMR version, this version of all this software will also change. So if you need a particular kind of Spark version, so or Hadoop version, then you have to select the particular kind of EMR. So now we'll go with the latest version of the EMR, and you can see that these all software will be checked automatically with you, like Hadoop, Spark. I'm mainly focusing on the Spark here. Python will be by default in this Spark in this EMR. Now, if you want to add a few more, like I want to add pig into this, you can click on the pig. So it will automatically go into the custom AWS. But I don't want that. I'll just make it a, okay, I'll just remove pig. So it will come into the default of the EMR 7.12. Now, you can give your cluster name, for example, Santosh data class. Okay. Now scroll down. Now you can see that which operating system you want. So I want Amazon Linux release. And in the cluster configuration, as we have studied in our previous video, like there is three kind of nodes. One is a primary node. There will be only one primary node, which looks into the cluster health checkup, which looks into the administration of the cluster management. And the second is the core node, which has the storage, which actually have the storage, and although the processing is also done the core node. The other thing is the task node, which is used for scaling your application. You can add multiple tasks when you want to scale up your application. So in our case, we'll have all this too. We'll just remove the task one. We'll remove the instance group, so we don't need any task one. We need a primary one. So in this, I will go into C42X. You can see the cost also on demand, how much is per hour, and what is the spot price. Spot price is always less, so we'll go with the on demand just for the demo purpose. We'll select this server C42X large 8 vCore with 15 GB of memory. Okay. Here you have an option of adding the EBS volume. So if you want to add additional EBS volume, you can click on this and you can add the EBS volume. I don't want to add it. Then in the core, I'll also keep the same configuration in the core. Here also you can add the EBS volume. And then I don't want to give any configuration, specific configuration. So I have one primary, one core. I'll just increase this core to 2 numbers. So how we'll do that? We'll go here and you can set up this size manually. You can see that it's not giving you the option to do the setup of the primary node. So you can only increase the core node or the task node, but we have unchecked the task node. So we don't have any task node. We have only two kind of node. One is the primary node. The second is the core node. If you want to add the task instance group, you can add the task instance group, and you can add number of tasks which is allowed in your AWS account. So I'll just remove this. We'll select two core. So I have one primary and two core now. Okay. So networking, I will keep it like this. And there is something called steps. So step is something, okay, we'll not go to the step. Step we'll see in the next video where we'll run the Spark application from this option itself. Okay. Now there is a cluster termination and node replacement. Okay, so there is two ways. Like for example, your cluster is idle for our 1 hour or 2 hours, and then you want the cluster to be automatically get terminated. So that option is also given here, because when you create an EMR, so the cost starts adding up in your AWS account. You don't, if you're not using the EMR, you're not running any job, then also there is some charges attached to the EMR. We have discussed all this thing in our previous video. So there is a charges into that. So if you don't want to have that unbilled that kind of amount in your AWS account, so in that case you can click on this automatic terminate cluster after ideal time. You can give how many days, how many hours you want it here. I'll just click on manual termination because I will terminate it manually. Then there's an option of bootstrap action. In the bootstrap action, what generally it is, like when you create a cluster, so actually that EC2 instance will be created in the background. So when you want to create the instance and you want some particular software, particular script to run before you get the cluster fully created, so in that case you need a bootstrap action. So for example, like in the Windows or in the Linux system, you want that when your system boot up, then few of the software should run automatically. You don't need to run it by double clicking or double clicking on that. So in that case we use a bootstrap action. So I have one file in which I have added few of the Python libraries. Like I want my cluster to install few of the Python libraries. So you have to first create an S3 bucket and then add into that. I'll add this one. Okay, then I'll go into the S3 bucket. Let me see. If I have not deleted it, then I will have it. I'll just click S3 on the next tab. Okay, I have something called EMR data class. I have created it. So in this bucket, I have one bootstrap folder in which I'll be having one test start test.sh. So what is this sh? This sh contains two things. I want to install matplotlib library and the pandas library. So this is the wrong syntax, I think, here. So this I wanted to be here. I'm not going to run this, but this is the way how you can add your script, you can add the software installation or any command, Linux command, because I'm just doing this EMR on the Amazon Linux command, Amazon Linux OS. So you can add up any of your instruction in a file, save it, upload in a S3 bucket, give the proper permission, and then you can come to you can copy the path from here, and then you can come to the EMR and you can add the S3 bucket here. Okay, so this will be added here. You can give the name of this. Okay, but we are not going to add this bootstrap action. But this, I want to show you, like by this option, you can do the bootstrap action. Then there's a cluster log. You want to add the log. You want to click on the log of this, or you want to store the log somewhere. So you can have it in a folder created in S3 bucket. You can see in my S3 bucket, I have one folder called logs. Okay, so you will directly go into the EMR thing, browse S3. You can directly browse the S3 like EMR data class. Okay, logs, this folder, and choose this one. Okay, so here your all the logs will be published. Now tagging is something different. Now there is an EC2 key pair. So for when you have created the EMR cluster, you need to log in into the EMR cluster with the EC2 key pair. So with like we have discussed this when we were discussing about the EC2 creation or EC2 setup. So I'll browse and see that I have the EC2 cluster created or not key pair. So I have one already created. I'll click on this. I'll choose this one. Okay, the name is my cluster. If you don't have it, you can click on this. You can create the key pair. We have seen this in the when we were discussing about the EC2. You can create the key and then store it as a PEM file or PPK file. Like if you want to connect with the help of the putty, you need a .ppk file. Okay. Now I'll go now here. Now you need a service role. Like for the two kind of service role is required. One is for the EMR and another is for the EC2. So EMR service role is required so that EMR can manage its own services. The other service role of EC2 is required because the your other node, all the EC2 instance will be spinned up. So it also need the role so that it can interact with each other. So we need basically two kind of service role. One is the EMR and other is the EC2. So if you have already created it, then you can directly choose it from here. If you have not created it, you just have to click on this. It will automatically create for you. I'll just leave it blank. For the EC2 also, I'll just create an instance profile. Okay. Now for the logs, okay. No other options should be required if you are creating a normal EMR cluster. So what we have done, we have given the name, you have the EMR release number, then we have one master, one primary node, two core node, because we have given two core nodes somewhere here we have given. Then what we have done, we have in the step we have seen how we can do it, but we have not added that in the step. Then we have not in the step, sorry, in the bootstrap we have not added it. We have seen that how we can add the script into it. And in the step is for running the jobs. You can directly run the Spark job from here, any kind of jobs, Python job also. Then we have given the path of the cluster logs. Then we have EC2 key pair to log in into the cluster. And then we have this one, EMR service role and the EC2 service role. Okay. Now we'll click on the create cluster, then it will create a cluster for you and it will take some time to create the cluster. So I'll click on the create cluster. One more thing I want to mention. So multiple times you will see that while just playing around with the CMR, so you have checked some of the cluster configuration, EC2 configuration, and when you click on the create cluster, after some time you will get an error that particular cluster is not available or particular kind of EC2 is not allowed in your zone. So for example, I have clicked on this zone. So this zone has this particular EC2 cluster. So if you, in your case, if you're getting that error, then you go into the EMR documentation, you can look into like for which of the zone, which of the EC2 instance is available or supported. Okay. So it's now in the starting phase. So when it comes into the waiting, so that means your cluster is created, it's in the running state, and then it's waiting for you to run any job. So I'll pause the video here, and when it comes the waiting phase, then we'll see it. Before that, we'll also discuss something like all the information will be there, like EMR version is there, log destination is there, what all software is getting installed is here. Okay, capacity is one primary, two core, zero task. We don't have any bootstrap action here. Okay, so everything can be seen here. Okay, now you can see that is in the starting phase. I'll click again on this, it will again come back to this page. Then what is the instance type, all these details you can see in this page. So we'll wait. So it's starting now, so you can see it's starting, and then it will move into the waiting phase. So now you can see that the status of this EMR cluster is waiting. So this means, okay, I've given double S in the name. Okay, no issue. So this means your cluster is ready. So if I'll go into the EMR cluster, you can see this in the waiting stage. You can click on this. You can directly connect through SSH. Click on this. You will have this command. You will have that PEM file when you have created EC2 key pair, and that we have already seen when we are doing the EC2 setup. So you can connect through that. The other thing is we have created two service role. One is the profile for EC2, and one is service role for the EMR. So you can see here in the permission section, you have a service role for EMR and EC2 profile. You can directly go into the IAM role, and there you can see it. Two roles will be created. So this role, you can see these two are being created: instance profile role and the service role. So whenever, like for example, running the Spark application or anything, so which we'll see in the next video, but just wanted to mention here. So if you have some files and you want to put that file in this cluster, or your cluster has a program and want to fetch that file from the S3 bucket, so S3 should have the policies to access the S3, and that policies need to be attached to this role. So that we will see in the next video, like how we can keep the program in the S3 bucket, data file in the S3 bucket, and how we can run the code into the from the EMR cluster, and how this role will be helping you to access the data inside the S3 bucket or writing the output in the S3 bucket. So this was all about the EMR setup. You can try and you can just play around this. This is quite easy. Just this was for your understanding. But from a developer point of view, this is not going to be much of the use, but you will have the better understanding how internally the EMR works. So we'll meet in the next video when we'll look into the Spark running or Spark execution in the EMR. Till then, happy learning and goodbye.